593-2000.
It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, welcome to the Playmaker Spotlight, the part of Get Down to Business where we speak to CEOs and business owners and share their stories and best practices with you. Playmakers are brought to you in part by Vistage, the world's largest CEO advisory board organization. I'm your host, Dick Smith, the CEO business coach, and I'm an award-winning chair for Vistage International. So I'm very pleased to have with us as our guest on tonight's program, Jeff Sebert, the president of Sebert Landscaping with headquarters in Bartlett, Illinois. And from their website, Sebert Landscape is a full-service commercial landscape contractor serving Chicagoland with a unique, sustainable approach. Sebert calls it the new green, and it's their way of changing the landscape industry. But their green goes beyond reusable bags and recycled bottles. It means finding solutions that benefit their customers and respects the environment. One example is their 30,000 square foot newly redesigned corporate headquarters, which features a LEED, that's L-E-E-D, we'll talk about that, certified building, a green roof, and an innovative, eco-friendly landscape. So tonight, again, I'm very pleased to have Jeff Sebert, president of Sebert Landscaping, with us. Jeff, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you for having us.
Very welcome. Hey, give us a brief story, the CNN version of Sebert Landscaping. How did it get started, your background, your role with the company, and so forth.
Well, I grew up not too far from this area in a small town in Wooddale, and a lot of the area that I grew up in was still rural. And so I spent a lot of time as a young child playing in the woods and the prairies and ponds, and I had a unique connection with the environment and nature in itself. So during my years of high school, I wound up getting a job working for a small landscape contractor. Worked there for several years, cut my teeth there, wanted opportunity. The company that I worked for had 4 other sons working for the owner, and my opportunity was limited. So I took it upon myself to take the next step and do something on my own. And really at that point in time, in 1985, I was dependent on family, friends, referrals that were given to start the business, and truly I started with a truck, a mower,
bootstrapped operation,
a few hand tools, and realized immediately that in order to make a company something, I needed to hire individuals to do that work and put me in a different role than what I was accustomed to.
And fast forward today, how many employees, how many locations?
Well, we're 400 employees strong.
No. 30 years, 400 employees.
400 employees. We have 5 locations. We're out in Rockford, Bartlett, Elk Grove Village, Bolingbrook, Naperville, and continuously growing, looking to cut our teeth up in the southern Wisconsin area.
Gotcha. So you and I have had a conversation beforehand. So tell the audience a little bit about the differentiation. You're, 90% commercial?
90% landscape? Commercial. So in that mix, you'll find office complexes.
Including the one we're in today.
We're sitting here at Northwest Point. This complex is maintained by Sebert, and all the common areas as well are maintained. We do a significant amount of municipality work, so the village of Elk Grove Village is also a client of ours.
Okay.
And many other municipalities as well. And then we do a huge amount of industrial type work, so industrial buildings that need maintenance services.
So tell me a little bit about your ideal customer profile. Who do you fit best?
Those are usually somebody that share a common thread with us. They have the thought and the initiative of wanting to be more sustainable in their approach of maintaining their sites. And we are looking for people that appreciate what they have from a landscape perspective and the investment that they have so that they can turn around and utilize that for the benefit of their employees, customers, vendors that recognize the importance of that sustainability from an exterior standpoint of the property.
Yeah, there's a great deal of confusion, I think, with business owners, property owners, that eco-friendly and sustainable mean more costly, and you don't agree with that? I
absolutely disagree with that, and I have 2 familiar points that I have been with, which is, number one, I have a LEED certified building, so I know the impact of building a building, and that we're providing services that are for the exterior of property. So one of the approaches that we're taking is we're trying to incorporate traditional and native landscapes together. So, for instance, you have a detention area on your property. That detention area may be having issues with erosion, water detention, etc. By incorporating the right type of plants into that, we control that problem. We put the water where it belongs, back in the ground. We minimize the amount of maintenance that is needed to maintain that, because if I have natural native plants that I'm utilizing, we don't have to mow it.
Sure.
So there's a cost savings there. The initial cost may be a little bit more, but after a 4 to 5 year period, you will see the savings.
Gotcha. Hey, if you're just tuning in to get to the show, this is the Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight, brought to you by Vistage International, and we're talking to Jeff Sebert, the president of Sebert Landscape Company, headquartered in Bartlett. So tell me a little bit about this thing, New Green Vision, and other unique experience areas, special services you provide, would you, Jeff?
Well, we've started a company called Bluestem Ecological Services, which is a sister company of Sebert Landscaping. And that is just a new endeavor. It's only 6 months old. We are continuously building on that. We've hired 5 individuals. Our main role right now is to get that company on its feet. And
what's its mission, the new company?
Its mission is basically to involve itself with the maintenance side of the native of landscaping. So this is a company that specializes and has the ecologists that are knowledgeable to go out there and provide that service to our clientele. A lot of times there are companies that are in our industry that want to try to do both. So I'm a landscape business and I want to do both services. We found that can be compromising. So we felt it's a better approach to separate those two and have one company that only does that type of work versus trying to have too many fingers in one piece.
So this would be for companies, large entities, perhaps, that want that conservation look, the natural native prairie look.
Yes, yeah? the native side of the property,
and
yes.
That organization is headquartered in Marengo near Harvard, is that what I understand?
That company is actually out in Marengo, and we're just starting it. We're excited. We've got several individuals that have come aboard, and all specialists in that area.
Yeah, you mentioned starting as a one-man paper hanger, and now you got 400 employees. So tell me how important it is to get the right people in a great team on the bus. Describe your culture a little bit, how you managed to do that.
Absolutely essential. People are the most important asset that you have, and you have to treat your people right. You have to create a culture that inspires people to think outside the box. You have to have an approach with all of your employees that you have an open door policy where you're willing to listen. And even sometimes when you don't want to listen, you listen.
Good for you.
You observe and take some of those ideas that come to the table and implement them and try some of those suggestions that come to the table, because it's about a team that wants to work together for an end goal.
Good for you.
And I can't tell you the importance of having good employees.
And I know there's a uniqueness that you have. You use an open book management approach. We talked about that a little bit. Unusual for a small business to open its books to its employees.
Well, and I'm always surprised by that. 15 years of open book management. And not only small companies, but even large companies, if you look at the stats, it's a small percentage of businesses that share financial data with their employees. And I guess it comes down to fear. And I would tell anybody that's fearful of that, get over it.
Yeah.
And
because if they think you're whatever you are, they think you're making twice as much as you're making anyway. So not that you're going to tell them what you're making, but
well, absolutely,
you're not fooling anybody.
We don't share salaries,
right?
But at the end of the day, if I'm asking you to be a business-like person and think like a business-like person, how can you do so without having the ability to know what's behind the scenes?
It's called ownership thinking, right?
I believe so.
Can you give me what you look like 3 years from now or 5 years from now?
Well, our objective and goal is to continue to expand on that sustainability and that green initiative side. We are approaching markets in the southern part of Wisconsin. We're trying to make an acquisition here within the next 6 months to acquire a business that we can break into the market in Wisconsin. There's a lot of positives in the Wisconsin market from that sustainable approach.
I'm assuming, are you going to double in size in 3 to 5 years, you hope?
We've always had somewhat of a conservative approach to our growth. So I would tell you on an annual basis, our objective is a 15% growth rate.
Well, I'm just about out of time, I'm afraid, Jeff, but I want to thank you for joining us. Jeff Sebert, president of Sebert Landscaping in Bartlett. And how do people get a hold of you if they want to hear more?
Sebert.com.
There you go. So send your inquiries there. Hey, thanks again, Jeff, and I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning into the Playmaker Spotlight. And now, back to Shalom, Klein, and get down to business.
This time of